7 years from Saratoga, Cunningham said, so he has 5 more years to live.
Outlander Season 8, Episode 2, Ending Explained. What Captain Cunningham's prophecy really means. If you thought Episode 2 of Outlander Season 8 was just a quiet episode on Fraser's Ridge, think again. Because on the surface, not much happens. There's no major battle, no huge political twist. But underneath all of that calm, the episode is quietly setting up one of the darkest themes of the entire final season: death. And by the end of the episode, 3 different storylines start pointing toward the same terrifying idea. Fate might already be written, and Jamie Fraser might not be able to escape it. The tragedy that changes Fraser's Ridge. The episode opens with something that feels almost peaceful. Life on Fraser's Ridge is finally settling again. New settlers have arrived. Families are rebuilding. And for a moment, it almost feels like Jamie and Claire might actually get a period of calm. But if you've watched this show long enough, you know peace never lasts long. During a simple blueberry gathering, tragedy strikes. Amy McCallum is suddenly attacked by a bear and killed. It's brutal, it's sudden, and it reminds everyone on the ridge that the wilderness they live in is still incredibly dangerous. But the moment that really stands out is what happens afterward. The man who hunts down the bear is Captain Cunningham. And when people question why he was so fearless chasing something that just killed a woman, he calmly says something chilling. He isn't afraid of dying, because according to him, he can't die yet. Captain Cunningham's prophecy. Later in the episode, we finally learn why. During a Freemason Lodge meeting organized by Jamie Fraser and Roger Mackenzie Cunningham reveals a deeply unsettling story. Years earlier, his son was dying. And in the moment after his son's life left his body, something strange happened. The boy suddenly opened his eyes again, just for a moment, and he told his father something that would change Cunningham forever. He said, "We will see each other again in 7 years." Then the boy died. Cunningham took this message literally. To him, it meant that his own death would not come until exactly 7 years later. And that belief has shaped the way he lives his life. He takes risks, he doesn't fear danger, he believes fate has already decided when his life ends. Now, here's where things start to get uncomfortable, because while Claire Fraser has proven that supernatural things absolutely exist in this world, Jamie isn't convinced that Cunningham's interpretation is safe. In fact, it might be dangerous. A man who believes he cannot die becomes reckless, and reckless men can get other people killed. Jamie's growing fear about the future. But Cunningham's prophecy isn't the only thing haunting Jamie in this episode. There's something much worse sitting in the back of his mind. A book, specifically a history book written by Claire's former husband, Frank Randall. In the Season 8 premiere, Jamie discovered something shocking in Frank's research. According to the book, James Fraser dies in the Battle of Kings Mountain. Claire refuses to believe it. She insists that history can change. But Jamie isn't so sure, because something disturbing keeps happening. The very men that Frank wrote about in his research are slowly appearing on Fraser's Ridge. And in this episode, one of the most important names finally arrives. Benjamin Cleveland. The warning. Hidden in Frank's book, Benjamin Cleveland shows up as a neighboring landowner. At first, the conversation seems normal, but then he reveals something that sends a chill down Jamie's spine. Several landowners in North Carolina are forming a militia, and they want Jamie to join them. Now, here's why that matters. Benjamin Cleveland, John Sevier, Isaac Shelby, William Campbell. Every single one of those names appears in Frank's book. And according to that book, they all fight beside Jamie in the Battle of Kings Mountain, the same battle where Jamie is supposed to die. So suddenly, the idea that Frank's research was just jealousy or bitterness starts to fall apart, because history is starting to align exactly the way the book predicted, which raises a disturbing question. Was Frank simply writing history, or was he leaving behind a warning? Jamie's theory about Frank. Jamie actually comes up with a theory in this episode that might explain everything. He tells Claire that maybe Frank wasn't researching Jamie at all. Maybe Frank was searching for Claire. Think about it. If Frank could find historical proof that Claire existed in the 1700s after Culloden, then that would mean something terrifying. It would mean Claire eventually left him. It would mean she returned to the past. And it would mean their future together was already doomed. So Jamie wonders if Frank discovered exactly what he feared, and if the book predicting Jamie's death wasn't just history, but revenge. And William's shocking discovery. While all of this is happening on Fraser's Ridge, another storyline is quietly unfolding, and it might become one of the biggest mysteries of the season. William Ransom begins investigating the death of his cousin, Benjamin Gray. Officially, Ben died from illness while being held in a rebel camp. But something about the story doesn't sit right with William. A soldier tells him Ben seemed to be recovering the last time he saw him. Then suddenly, he was dead. And when William goes through Ben's belongings, he notices something strange. The small tin soldier William once gave him is missing. That toy meant everything to Ben. He promised he would always carry it. So if it isn't there, something is wrong. And William follows his instincts. The same instincts he inherited from his real father, Jamie. In the final moments of the episode, William does something desperate. He digs up Ben's grave, and what he finds changes everything, because the body buried there isn't Benjamin Gray. Someone else is in that grave, which means Ben might not be dead at all. A moment of hope for young Ian. In the middle of all this darkness, the episode also gives us one moment of genuine happiness. Young Ian finally becomes a father. For Ian, this moment carries enormous emotional weight. Years earlier, he and his first wife Emily lost their child. Their grief ultimately tore their marriage apart. Even worse, Emily later gave birth to a son after Ian had already left the Mohawk, a son Ian never got the chance to raise. So the birth of his child with Rachel represents something deeply healing. For the first time in his life, Ian gets to be the father he always wanted to be. But even here, the show quietly reminds us of its growing theme. Life and death exist side by side, because Ian's son is born only moments after Amy's tragic death. One life ending, another beginning. The endless cycle Jamie and Claire know all too well. The dark theme of Season 8. By the end of Episode 2, a pattern starts to emerge. Faith Fraser somehow surviving in France, Jamie's possible death at King's Mountain, Cunningham's prophecy about the exact day he will die, and now the mysterious disappearance of Benjamin Gray. Everything in this season seems to revolve around one idea. Can fate be changed, or is it already written? And that question may ultimately define the final chapter of Jamie and Claire's story. Because if Frank's book is right, then history says Jamie Fraser's time is running out. But if there's one thing Outlander has taught us over the years, it's that love, time, and destiny rarely follow the rules.